I used to overthink about which camera to buy. And I remember this feeling that was holding me back from recording videos just because I didn't have camera like this. Just because I had some Android that could record a video, but I potentially didn't use it. So I realized that the content is more important rather than the gear you record it on. So I started to post on my phone. Essentially, I made more over 200 videos and 90% of them was recorded on my iPhone 13. And you see the results. They are right in front of you. 1.8K views with this device. And people still watch and still like my content. Now, today I'm gonna teach you the things that I've learned through using my iPhone. The 5 things, the 5 most important ones that will lead you to the success with your camera, whatever you have as a phone. We're gonna go through the best camera settings, best camera apps, lighting, audio, and tripods. When you stick to the end of this video, your phone would look the same as the professional camera that I described earlier. You wouldn't see the difference. Maybe some of the quality would be better, but if you optimize it and you tick all of these boxes right there, then the viewers wouldn't even care. Starting with the best camera settings. Well, there are 3 rules for it that I created, and also the video that I recorded. Let's focus on the rules firstly. No more than 30 FPS. What is FPS? FPS is frames per second, and you can choose them in your camera settings. Let me see, I couldn't find a camera right there. So you have the video recording, and right there, you can choose. Let me go back. Okay, let me open it like this, my bad, brother. Yeah, here. You can choose which FPS to use, how many of them. So you have the choice between 30, 25, and then also the quality. We use at least 180 pixels. This is at least 4K is like really good quality, but I use 180 because I think that it's not that important. Like the viewers wouldn't look at me at my pimples in the best quality. Why should he? The information matters more than quality there. So I record in 180. I mean, it's still a good smooth style, you see. So I put it on 180 at 30 FPS. I actually record at 180 and 25 FPS. This one, the PAL format, because it looks more like in the real life. Our eye doesn't see this smooth, like 30 FPS like there on the computer. It see it as 25. So basically, this is the reason where every film is recorded in 24 FPS and it looks cinematic. So no more than 30 FPS, because if you use more, your eye just think that is too smooth, that it is too unrealistic, and the viewers wouldn't focus on you that much. Then, shutter speed is double the frame. There is no thing in there as the shutter speed. It's more connected with the camera apps that provide you more specific tools that you can regulate and give you more abilities to change the settings you like on your camera. But let's go over firstly the settings that you need to put for your default camera. This is the settings I use. I use 180 at 30 FPS. I use record stereo sound. This is important. It gives you sound more beautiful voice. Then the thing that is really important is turning on the grid thing. Okay, I'm changing the thing there. Okay, I went to the formats there and I've chosen high efficiency there. High efficiency is basically the definition of better quality, because most compatible gives you lower quality and it basically reduces this file size. So use high efficiency, it will look more professional. Then Apple ProRes, I don't recommend this. This is just for cinematographers, don't turn it on. Then the settings that is preserved, not important also. But the thing that is really important is grid. Grid is this lines on the camera that shows whether you put yourself in the middle of the screen or you just on the side or your camera is rotated. Also level. Level gives you the understanding of whether your camera is put at like on the right angle. And then outside the frame, view outside the frame, I recommend to turn this off. This is settings for iPhone user. If you have like two cameras, you have the main camera and then the camera that is 0.5, like wide angle. They use it like so you can see the bezels of it. You can see like darker thing from the other camera. So you just can see like outside the frame. And it kind of confuses your brain. So rather turn it off and it's going to be like just black frames. So you wouldn't like mistakenly shoot something and you think something is in the frame, but it's not because of this feature. So turn it over. Next thing. Essentially, I think it's probably all the things that are really important. I went to the camera app then to show you this. When you go to the video, as I go there, you have this thing that you can change 4K to HD, and there is FPS also. So this preserve settings, when we put it in there, it was by default, but you can change it while it's having camera app open. So sometimes I change to 4K, sometimes I change to 25, and just use it by yourself, however you want. And also the exposure thing. If you go and slide your finger like this, and you will see the exposure. This is about the shutter speed, is double the frames. You can't really regulate this in the normal default camera app, and this is why camera apps that are outside of your phone, like in App Store or Play Market that you can download, could give you more opportunities to regulate this. Because I said shutter speed is double the frames, so if you have 30 frames, you need to have shutter speed set to 160, 1.1 like 60, let's say 60. If you have 25 FPS, you need to set it on 50. And if you have 24, 48, bro. So double the frame, and you can't really put it in the iPhone camera default app. You have the slider that is just making this brighter or essentially lighter. So it's kinda not fixed. Yeah, this is what I want to say. It gives you a overexposure if you set it wrong. So you would have like a white thing behind you, and you see how like picture changing right now. It's because I have like automatic settings. If I go with my hands there, like the camera change it up, but it's slow, bro. Nobody cares. But if you record talking head, it's really important to follow this structure. Okay, now that your phone is set up, let's talk about the camera apps that can take your video quality to the next level. There is basically 3 of them, and the first one is for iPhone and for Android. Now I want you to destroy your limited belief there. If you still think, bro, but what if like my phone is not the best? It doesn't matter. What's matter most is the information that you transfer. And if we can see you, like, even if it's not that clear, but we can see you, the quality is not the best, there is still people that are like having millions of views from their basement recorded on some iPhone 6 or on some Nokia 3310. But really, it's all about your skills and how you use them. Even though camera app is important, it's not essential. So that's why I included default camera there. You can use your default iPhone or Android camera, whatever you use, and be happy with it. And it's actually making your life easier because you don't need to know all of these settings and essentially watch this video. Nah, it would help you with lighting and audio and tripods, But as I've said, default camera is for those that are starting out. If you're focusing more on the settings rather than creating content, and you go to your room and you change every single setting on your iPhone, but you still didn't recorded your first video yet, then what the hell are you doing? Use your default camera, it's gonna be okay. But if you want to improve and you want to go on to the next level and make your phone look like a professional camera, then I recommend Final Cut camera for iPhone. It's the camera that went out recently, so it's kind of new up, but it's really good for $0. These two cameras are free. I absolutely don't recommend you to spend any money on apps that are giving you opportunity to use the camera settings more professionally. So I use free cameras, and one of them is Final Cut, the other is Blackmagic camera. This is more stable, but it's more, let's say, professional. You have more features in there. This is more like chilled and better for the beginners that want to become professional. So the layout looks like this. Basically, I have three cameras. I have iPhone 13 Pro, and I have wide camera, default camera, and macro camera. I'm not gonna explain, bro. Use the middle one. It is the best quality. They do it like this. Use the default camera, don't use wide one. You're not gonna record vlogs. I assume you want to make talking head videos, so use it like so. And let's go through settings. So I put HEWK. What is this? It is the codec. It is like the thing that defines whether you would record on the bigger size, like whether the file of your video would be big or small, because then the color grading comes in. I don't recommend you to go ProRes if you know what it means. If not, just set it up like I do. You can click on there and put HEWK. Then you got SDR, you got HDR and HDR, and it is when your phone screen lights up on the maximum capacity and you kind of see the picture better, but it actually make it worse. So I didn't mention it in the camera settings, but there is also a thing where you can turn it off that called HDR. So turn it off because it's not gonna benefit you at all. So I put SDR there, do the same. Now to the quality, like I said, 180 and 25 frames per second. This is what I use personally. You can do 4K 25, you can do 4K 24. I recommend this one. And then if you hit this arrow, you can go to shutter speed and put one, in this case 50. So you're gonna choose like manual and then 150 and fixed. You need to fix this setting so the shutter speed doesn't change like right now on the camera if you record in talking head, because this is freaking important. Then you would not get overexposed if the lights change, and it will look better. You can also go to settings and check it out, but it's essentially the same thing that are there. Now, Blackmagic camera is more proficient, more features. It has a wide balance, and you essentially put it on 5K. This is what I do every time. 5K is like light in your room, so I use this. Tint, I put it on 14. You can do 0. ISO, it is the thing that makes your picture brighter or darker. I put it, the best practice is to put it like, so it's clearly visible, bro. But your shutter speed, you see 180 there. What is 180? You said double the frame. I put it into the angles, and when you put it into the angle and you put 180, then you don't need to think about double the frame whenever you change FPS. So if I would change it to 30 frames per second, it automatically would be like 160. It would be 180 degrees. I don't know whether it's information that really helps you, but put it like this and forget about it. And you see this looks, fix it so it doesn't change. And then just use your ISO to make your picture brighter or lower. Also, you see this black thing, it's overexposure indicator. You can go to settings and turn it on, overexposure, and you will see where the picture is too bright that it loses its quality. And you need to avoid things like this. So if you see when you use your light and you have some black things like this, you also can do this in this camera. It's going to be red. And if you see that you have overexposure, then you need to step out of the light further away or use it like further, put it down. Eventually, this is our next point, because even with the best camera app, your video won't stand out without proper lighting, and basically it will be dark if you don't use lights. The light thing. You have three options. The first one being is window, $0. This is the one that I use, and I recommend everybody to use it. It's free, bro. Like, I'm using it right now. What do you think? Like, the quality is good or not? It's a long video for sure. If it's gonna be a talking head, I would put more energy into creating it and would go closer to my window and would use the technique that is the best on the camera. But let's go through the things first. The second option you could have, and it is what I want to upgrade to, is this ring light from Amazon. It costs like $20 or like $10. And you basically put it near you, and I will explain how to put it correctly. And the last option is softbox with the light, and it's for the professionals. You have to need to have a place in your house so that you can put it, and it won't, like, I don't have many space, so it's not the option for me. It's also expensive. I'm not gonna recommend you to invest in this if you're using your phone, but if you already have it, use it like this. This basically unlocks you the opportunity to record in the nighttime, so it's a good investment to do. $20. It's not a big one. I recommend you this. Now, how do you use the light? How do you like put the camera so that it looks more professional? Now, basically, this is the window. This is the window that I draw, and you use it by, this is the light that comes from, and you need to use it into the 45 degrees angle. You need to put your camera so that it stays on the 45 degree, and you stay on the 45 degree angle from the window. This is the right position to stay in. This is like from high. This is the position that you stand directly into the window. And look at this picture. Which photo you like the best? This, or this? For me, I mean, this one is good and this one. This is bad. And this is when you stand directly in front of the light. If you stand directly in front of the window. And yeah, this could be a window or ring light or the softbox, whatever. So don't stay in front of the window because it would look bad. You wouldn't have any shadows and it would look unnatural. Now, if you stand like this, so you have the shadow fully on the left side, you stand in 90 degrees of the window. So you put your camera directly 90 degrees, so this one, and then you stand 90 degrees of the window. And this is how I started. It was a mistake. Like I said, the best thing to do is 45 degrees. There is another picture. This is the key light. Basically the light from window. Let's imagine this is a window. So like I said, 45 and camera is right there. And it's important to put it on there, not in front of the camera. So I think it's quite understandable how you need to position yourself. 45 degrees. Remember, the light would be the best at this. Ideally, you want to have the kind of triangle this guy has on his thing, so of shadow. This is pretty much it with light. If you have three lights, softbox you can do setup like this. But, you know, if you have a phone as a camera, you probably don't have access to it. So let's go to the audio. Audio is the most important thing in the video. This is what basically generates it. If you have a bad audio and good picture, nobody gonna listen to you. Nobody gonna look at your video and listen. If you have a bad picture but a great audio, then some people would still watch. But if you have great picture and great audio, then everybody's happy. Now, the cheapest option, and this is the one that I recommend, is iPhone mic, $0, no investment, but not specifically the mic when you record it. I should put this in this mode, because when you record it, you stand this far from the camera. And as you see right now, I'm far from the camera, but you can still hear me. And this is because I use the lav mic. Now, if I wouldn't have the lav mic, I would use the iPhone or other phone to hold it and speak to it like on the recorder. And then I would just sync up into the video. And the sound quality would be better because I would be just closer to the mic. So the closest you are to the mic, the better the sound is. Also, don't forget to close windows to remove sounds that are not essential and interrupt your video. But the next option is lav mic. Like I said, I have one. There it is. I don't know. You can see it there. It gives you an opportunity not to hold the phone. That's the first thing, and it kind of improves your video, your audio. So it's $10 investment. I invested in it, and I'm kind of happy. The next thing is directional mic. It's when you put it directly on the camera, and it's more for the cameras. But you can also use it as the mic on the tripod and closer to your mouse. It's basically the microphone that follows one direction and can hear only from the side. So if you speak there behind the microphone, you're not gonna listen, you're not gonna hear anything. But if you speak there, the sound is clear. And if you stand on the sides, it's also bad. Now, it's kind of improvement. I would like to have it, but I don't. And the best microphones are those that I call mouth mics. I know the one, probably the most recognizable, is Shure. You've seen it on all podcasts and all professional studios that they use. And the sound quality is the best because you're as close as possible to this mic. The mic is directly in the camera and near your mouth. So this is why I call it like this. I don't remember the professional naming, but as I've said, this is good. This is ideal. If you have the other phone and you can hold it in your hand, or the lav mic, because like I said, this is okay for the first, let's say 50 videos, acceptable. But then if you really are serious about YouTube, it's good to invest into things like this or find your old phone in the drawer. Back behind. Last thing, brother, tripods. Tripods are simple. You either buy one for $20 or you use a table or a thing that you could put your phone on. In this example, I put a bottle and this is the phone and it records you. Now, the problem with this is that the phone is not straight and it's not in front of your eyes like I have right now. My phone is located on my eye level. I forgot to mention that I'm recording on my phone today. I don't know. Do you like the quality of it? I guess so. If you're still watching, because it's a long as video. Now, the thing that you need to avoid is the tripods from AliExpress. These $2 tripods. I myself trapped into one of this. I bought it and my phone dropped. Nothing happened, but it's kind of sad that you wait for it and then you need to change it every single month because it's low quality. So $20 for this. I use kind of like this one, but a little bit cheaper version, a little bit smaller. And this are basically approved. This the things that you need to avoid. You see, this is not good. Now, if you buy the tripod like this, remember that you need to have a holder like this one for your phone, because this is essentially made for a camera. So remember this. As I've said, the free option is still okay. Use it if you can. The important part is eye level. It's where you put your camera on. There is basically 3 graphs for you. It should be rotated, but this is the guy that put it on the eye level like I have right now, and it looks like this. It looks nice. This is the guy that puts it down on a low view, and it looks basically like this. You look like higher in the people's eye, but it's not compelling, and you need to speak directly to a viewer rather than being over him. So keep in mind also the back size. If you sit like this and you speak there, not acceptable. It's, once again, you speak to the audience. So lens is the eye contact for you. You don't speak with people and you look on the side. No, you speak with people and you look them directly in the eyes. And high view, the same thing. There is no picture with it, but it's gonna be look like you are on the lower level. So this was all tricks that I know about my camera that I've used, and I don't think that anything could make it better rather than upgrades of these things. The most important is probably audio. So if you can invest in lav mic, not worth it. If you're a millionaire, this one is a good option. This is not worth it. Also use Facebook Marketplace or thrift stores, or buy it from the people that already used it. It's going to be cheaper. So this is a good tactic. And not invest into light and then into the tripod. Tripod is essentially not like it's optional thing. You absolutely could live without it, but with it, it makes your life a little bit simpler. So this was all of the things that I know about it. Once again, the camera settings, no more than 30 FPS, no more than at least 180 pixels. And the shutter speed is double the frame and no overexposure. Straight up your camera. It's not acceptable to have white things on the video. The last thing is overthinking is your enemy, because this is what was holding me, bro. I wasn't recording because of my Android phone. I thought I would wait until I get iPhone, and then imagine me starting out when I was 13. Imagine how my speaking skills would improve. Once again, it's about the content and about the thing that you record, the value that you provide, not the camera, bro. Because, you know, Alex Formosi and then Hamza and then Kirby, all of them started in their basement. They started for videos from scratch, and I essentially have video about it. I will share the link to you right now. This is the bonus tip for you. You can go and watch this video right there. I will leave it down in the description. They went viral making talking head videos from scratch, so you can do it too. Remember, don't be nice, be good. See you in the next one. Wabang! Set up your phone, bro. It's one-time action. It's worth it. Worth the thing to do. Bye.